Hey, this is Mike from Junkyard Crafts and Builds, and this is the impressions video for the Retro Series G.I. Joe Duke. Now, I'm real excited to have this guy in hand. I know that a lot of other YouTubers have been telling you all about this guy and how amazing it is, so I want to see if that's true or not. So let's just roll right into it. We've got this new thick hardback from Hasbro showcasing Duke and all of his accessories, and it looks rad. I really love the slightly updated vintage look of Duke here on the side. We have G.I. Joe across the front, Duke prominently on display. Let's turn around to the back real quick, and we get this really cool cross-sell of this retro wave of Duke, Scarlet, and Recondo. And we have his bio card here in all 5 languages. Yay. So again, Conrad S. Hauser, 1st Sergeant, Airborne Infantry, especially artillery and armor for small arms, from Missouri. He is the quintessential G.I. Joe. There's the UPC if you need it. So let's just go ahead and get him out of this Cardback. And out of the package, I'm telling you, this is the definitive Duke for your collection. And he comes with a whole bunch of accessories, which is really nice to see coming from quote unquote classified line. He's part of the classified series. Let's just get that out of the way. He's built like him. He looks great. So let's just go through and we'll see what we have here. We've got a combat knife sitting on top of this vintage. So starting with the accessories, we got this really cool stand for him, and it's in a matte black compared to a glossy area. Really nice combat knife. We have his OG grease gun. Looks really nice. Magazine comes out. Nice and straight, nice and strong feeling. We got a modified little pistol here. We got his OG cartoon laser rifle, which is really nice to see. Really nice accents of this matte black and green on it. We got his backpack here, and I'm sure everyone has already seen the little writing on it, but just for my education, I'm going to zoom in on it here for you. And there is the close-up on it. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Whenever there's trouble over land and sea and air, G.I. Joe is there. I'm sure you're used to those lyrics. Continuing on, we have his vintage binoculars, which are really nice. We have a helmet with a visor. So, this is probably a very nice Easter egg for what we're going to get in the future. And what's really awesome is besides the trigger hands, we get a pair of fists, which are really, really nice. They're on horizontal hinges. And we have a horizontal hinge on this side and a vertical hinge for this side of his trigger hands. To talk about the aesthetics real quick, it's very simple. It is near perfect for what we remember from the vintage O-ring line with modern touches. I mean, Duke himself looks exactly like he did in the 82 or 80, I think it's 83 wave when he came out. Just really, really nice. And this new sculpting is, at first I was a little off about it because he looks very lean and kind of small, but looking at it, it's very proportional for his large shoulders to his small waist, and then nicely proportioned to legs. He's just really good overall. Articulation, he can go look up that far, he can go look down that far on a double ball peg. If we take his head off here, just to show, we have a little ball peg. We have a little bit of work here. It seems like they tried to, allow for more articulation in the back because the way they have this sculpt on the top part of his neck, it's a little lower here to allow him to move around a little bit. Let's put this back on. Shoulders, easily over a T-pose. We have very generous butterflies, no hindering at all. This one goes a little further than that one, but still fantastic. We have bicep rotation that has that really nice cut so it doesn't look as awkward. Double jointed pinless elbows, and like I said, the hands, this one has a horizontal hinge. You're looking over here, this hand has a vertical hinge up and down. We have a really nice mid-torso double ball peg here to allow you to get back that far before you actually break the sculpt, but you can get further forward. And then you have this other ball peg to get you more range. And again, a nice torso twist. We have our drop legs that can actually get you pretty far up once it starts going out. But we got thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees, of course. We have a boot swivel, and then we have a really generous ankle pivot up and down and to the side. So I mean, this, while it seems like it's standard fare for classified, he really has a lot more range than I was expecting. And that's a really good thing. Here we have Duke all kitted out, and man, I mean, it's really nice to see. This is a high quality Hasbro product, and I'm so happy that I actually have this guy. I mean, everything works the way it should, and it looks amazing like we expect. Everything fits well. I mean, the backpack is nice. The pin isn't gummy. You know, it's nice and firm. It sits in there, and it's actually wrapped into a hole on the back of his bandolier, so it keeps it extra secure. The weapons, again, all straight in that new plastic inner blister card. But everything sits really nice. You know, even the paint on the forearms really matches the hands really well. I was expecting it to be a little more off color, but that's not the case. And again, it just works. He's just a really awesome figure. There's nothing else to say. I mean, the articulation, you can get into any pose, and 90% of the time, he's going to stay. And it looks fantastic. I really want to get one of the jump jets from my Steel Core Kitty Brigade and put on his back just to have that other iconic scene from the cartoon with him flying around. But let's go ahead and do some comparisons with the other Dukes. And here's the main comparison I think everybody wants to see, and that's the Retro Duke next to the Wave 1 modernized Duke from the video game, and then also the Tiger Force Deco Duke. And honestly, if I had to rank everything right now, the Retro Duke would be number one, just because the proportions of them really stand out a lot better than the other two. Second would be the Tiger Force Deco, because I really think that's a nice contrast color-wise with him. Now the face, you know, it is what it is. It's not really Duke in my eyes, but we'll take it. The first wave Duke, obviously with the Nerf gun type of stuff, take it or leave it. It is a way that, you know, Hasbro was starting to go out with stuff with Classified, was to try to modernize everything. Didn't pan out. Everybody wants the classic Duke, which is what we have now. And I really wanted to do this comparison as well, because this really just strikes the nostalgia for me, and that's having the Retro Duke next to the HasLab Mickey Mouse-eared Cobra Commander. I could just hear Chris Latta's voice screeching across there, you know, saying that he's going to dominate the Joe team, and Duke is just standing there saying, no, you won't. And one other comparison that I wanted to do, and I'm sure crossing the streams is going to drive someone nuts, but here are both of the field commanders for the two top 1/12 scale military lines out today, and that is the Retro Duke and the SDS version of Condor from Valaverse Action Force. So here's one final comparison, and I know it's going to ruffle feathers because I'm crossing the streams, but I don't really care. But this is the Retro Duke next to the leader of the Valaverse Action Force, SDS Condor. Now this pair, to me, are the definitive versions of these characters in my collection. They both look fantastic. I am so extremely happy to have them both together. Final impressions of G.I. Joe Retro Duke? Let me cut to the chase. This guy is the most fun figure I've been messing with this entire year so far. He is the definitive version of Duke, and there's no other way to describe it. There's a lot of love and time that Hasbro actually put into this retro figure. Hasbro really took their time, in my opinion, on the sculpt, the deco, and just the love for this redo of Duke. And it's seen from top to bottom, from the face sculpt to even the veins showing on his forearms, weapons that are exactly what we remember from the vintage line, the little phrase on the back of his E-tool on his backpack, to even giving us alternate hands. This is really a love letter to fans saying, we hear you, we know what you want, here it is. So if you are a fan of this line, get this figure. The fact that he's not a Walmart exclusive like previous retro figures, because he's readily available right now. So that's everything. I love this guy. He's in my collection now. Hopefully he will be in yours. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please comment, subscribe. I'm very appreciative of it. So with that, thank you guys again, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.